Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Podcast. It is February 8th. It is 57 degrees in Chicago. Hard to believe.
Isn't that amazing?
Amazing. Probably
Fake.
Warmer than it is in Arizona right now.
It's fake spring right now, but
I used to dream of times like this.
Luke Stuckmeyer,
The
Cody
times won't
Delmendo,
last
Ryan
long.
Herrera.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody in the live chat and all of our new diehards. The diehard program right now is blowing up. Why? Because baseball season's almost here. Why? Because the Bulls are about to pull off the biggest trade in the history of the franchise.
Manifest.
No. Maybe because the Bears have the number one pick. Big decision to make. Doesn't matter what the reason is. Diehards are signing up in droves right now. The most recent, Kevin and Soren, but shout out to the people that have already been there as diehards, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
DFW, Susie, Gary, Austin, Brad, Carlos, Shane. You know who you are.
And
We
a
appreciate
host of
you.
others.
Host of others, yes. I didn't want to leave anybody out, so maybe next time, too. Andrew says, 57 in Michigan, too. Make sure you sign up for that diehard program. Don't get left out. Don't be one of those FOMO people.
We'll try and be in the Discord tonight. And let's try somewhere between 6 and 7.
Nice.
Between 6
We'll
and
try.
7.
But sometime tonight, but I'm going to try between
Therapy
6 and 7.
sessions in the diehard chat.
Yeah. I almost went in there last night because the passing stuff was bothering me.
Yeah, we're getting to that in a second.
But I also just kind of needed some me time, so.
Look at that. Craig says 57 in Mesa. Same temperature it is in Arlington Heights right now.
Nice.
Ryan will be leaving on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
This is the last time you'll see Ryan in studio for a couple weeks.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
means we have to play a couple games of ping pong after the show.
That's true.
Ping pong
Because
championship.
We've been doing an off-season ping pong series.
And it's not been going well for me.
I wasn't gonna say it, but you just said it.
I don't know what the score is. 19-9, something like that.
I'm 19-8
Yeah,
against
19-8.
Ryan this
Oh, my
offseason.
goodness.
There's a lot of offseason. We have all of March. All of March to.
Well, we're gonna have to write it down on paper because he's gonna be gone for 2 weeks and then I'm gonna be gone, and by the time we play again, it'll be March, and I'm gonna forget the series record.
Yeah.
And by then, you'll be down another 12, 13 pounds
Here's
probably, too.
hoping. I better be.
You might not have the stamina to play
Maybe even
like
more.
you do now.
Maybe even more than that. Keep working hard.
You know what is working well? This tavern style presented by Salerno that we're doing. Little hits we're doing. I got one with Big Dave today. How about that? I hadn't seen Big Dave in probably 8 months.
Which is crazy because
Last time I
his
saw
personality is so big that
Right.
you can't miss him. But it was a blessing to see him. Probably it feels like a month ago. That was the last time I saw him.
I feel like it was the middle of the baseball season. Last time I saw Big Dave, there was hope that the Bulls might trade somebody. That's how long
There
it's
was
been.
hope.
That they might actually do something to get out of the
What was
That
your
a long time ago.
2021. That's the last time I saw him.
What was your favorite part of the hope?
Hope. Friends met along the way, I think it was what you say.
Yeah.
Speaking of hope, we keep hoping that today's Cody Bellinger day.
Keep
So
trying to
far,
manifest.
no news. Jeff Passan, noted insider, right 99.9% of the time. He believes that the Blue Jays need Bellinger more than the Cubs. So he's still kind of leaning towards the Blue Jays. Okay. But he also said on Waddle and Sylvie yesterday that he believes the Cubs will get one of Boras's big four free agents. Just might not be Bellinger.
Mm-hmm.
So let's play the what-if game. What if they don't get Bellinger? Of the other three big Boras free agents, who fits the team the best? Which one do you like the best? And which one do you think is the most likely?
I think most likely. Are we excluding Bellinger?
Yeah, we're taking Bellinger out of it
playing
because I think
the what-if
everybody knows that
scenario.
of the four, Bellinger is clearly the best fit for the team, right? They know him the best. He's the best for their lineup. He's the best for their defense. He's the guy of the four.
Yeah.
But if the Blue Jays offer him $300 million, we know for a fact, which if they would have, he would have signed it already.
Yeah.
But if they panic, if the Blue Jays panic in that division and say, we got to do it, it's too late. It's March 12th.
And
We've got to sign him. Which of the other three would you want the Cubs to go after or sign?
You said likeliest, and I think out of those three, the likeliest one is probably Matt Chapman. I think Defensively, he fits obviously at third base. There's probably more in the bat there than what the results showed last year. And he may be, out of those three, the guy that would be more likely to take a shorter-term deal, which we know Jed himself has said that he's not a huge fan of long-term deals. So, Montgomery might be like more of like a 6 or 7 year guy, I think is kind of what we've seen out there, maybe a year or so less. And Blake Snell, the Cubs just haven't been connected to him at all offseason. So I think if we're looking at those three, Matt Chapman would probably be the most likely of the three to go to the Cubs.
And obviously, Snell the least likely. Can we all agree that Snell's the least likely?
I would
Except
think so.
for the fact that now he has been mentioned. We haven't seen a single rumor about the Cubs and Snell.
Yeah.
We also never saw a rumor about Craig Counsell and the Cubs either. I always like to say Jed likes to work in the shadows.
That's fair.
So I can't rule out that Snell would be that guy.
Can't rule it out, but I think based
still the
on,
least likely.
Yeah, I think so. Just that what they'd have to give him contract wise. I would say he's probably the least likely. Montgomery right in the middle, and then Chapman number one.
I'd honestly, and maybe it's irrational to think this, but I'd honestly just be pissed off if they signed Blake Snell and not Cody Bellinger, because Blake Snell's going to be asking for more money. He's going to be asking for more years. And if you're going to give a pitcher who's honestly, in my opinion, not been consistent enough over the course of his career, on top of walking the entire world all the time, I'm just thinking about it right now just makes me angry. So, would I get up for it? Yeah, because I'm a Cubs fan and that's what I do. But at the same time, I'd rather have Cody Bellinger than Blake Snell. So if they were to do that, I would not be happy about it. So for me, between Montgomery or Matt Chapman, I think most likely is Chapman just because the deal will be shorter. I think Montgomery is still an option just because he has been linked to the Cubs this offseason. But if you sign Montgomery and you end up giving him more than 6 years, it just brings me back to like, why did you not sign Bellinger if you're going to give Montgomery this long-term deal? It's not like Montgomery's been elite for years either. He's a good pitcher. He's shown to be very good, and he's
especially
coming
in
off
the postseason.
Especially this postseason. This past postseason, he had a great run with the Rangers. No doubt, he was pretty solid with the Cardinals the last year and a half. He was even fine with the Yankees too. But it's not like he was ever elite or anything like that. So to me, it just none of it. The only one that really would make sense to me is Chapman, because it would be on a shorter term deal, and you do have a hole at third base if you don't believe Christopher Morel can play the position.
I will say with Snell, although the hit that he would take to like the salary and then just the budget and all that, the payroll, well, that would probably be more than what Jed and the front office are willing to give just to anyone, right? Like, not to anyone, but like to Blake Snell himself, probably more than they want to give is what Snell's going to end up costing. I will say he brings difference to the rotation than what the Cubs have had. I mean, he's a lefty, so there'd be a lot of lefties in the rotation, but the swing and miss, the strikeout rates, the whiff rate, all that kind of stuff, he brings that, and he was 98th percentile in whiff rate, 94th percentile in strikeout rate last year. The walks are bad. Like, he was 4th percentile. That's really bad, but he still won a Cy Young even with that, and it was because of what he was able to do against opposing hitters. And I'm not advocating for Blake Snell. I do think Matt Chapman, again, makes the most sense
devil's advocate
out of those three. But if they were to sign Blake Snell, it does bring that kind of variance to the rotation that we've talked about in the past. They just have so many. The last couple of years, they've had so many of the same pitchers in that rotation. Bringing in Blake Snell is just different and provides a different look. And as we saw, 2-time Cy Young Award winner. Obviously, you got to hope that he's just more consistent with that versus the kind of up and downs he's had in his career. But it's on paper, it's like, yeah, he brings a different skill set than what the rotation has. So I wouldn't hate the signing if I was the Cubs.
That's a good devil's advocate point. Like, I agree that if money was off the table, if money in years didn't exist, which is in fantasy land,
sure.
But if they didn't exist, any of the four guys would make the Cubs a better team next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does Snell walk a lot of guys? Yeah, and he's got better hit and miss than anybody in their entire franchise, and he would be a good fit with some of the guys they have in the rotation. And you can always find room for somewhere in your rotation for a guy that has been elite in certain years. There's always room for that. But to Cody's point, money does matter and years do matter. And so Bellinger is so clearly the right answer out of the four because the team desperately needs left-handed pop. They need a left-handed hitter. They still need a guy who can play first base. He can do that at an elite level. He allows you to ease in PCA in center field. He gives you flexibility in the outfield. And not just does he give you left-handed slug, with 2 strikes he showed you last year, if you want to take a little bit of the slug back, he can also give you a contact guy who's just going to keep the ball going, keep the lineup rotating. So he's clearly the right answer. And I agree with you. Like, all of these guys, any of the 4 signings are going to make the Cubs a little itchy, right? You can see Jed's just going to be scratching at scabs like he doesn't know what to do. He's going to be very itchy about it because he's going to be like, this makes me a little uncomfortable because it's more than I want to spend, or it's more years, or it's both. But if you're going to get itchy and scratchy over it, you might as well do it for Cody Bellinger, in my mind. If you're going to go over that limit of your comfortability, you might as well do it for Bellinger. Now, we're taking Bellinger out of the mix. We're going to say, okay, they're making a mistake. They're going to let the Blue Jays outbid them for Cody Bellinger. All right. I agree with you that Chapman is the most likely because, A, they need a third baseman, and B, he's the most likely to take the shortest deal out of the 3, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't think they have any answer unless Morel shows up at spring training on the Madrigal program and
my magic wand Monday, right?
And wows us all. They just don't seem to have, or Shaw somehow blisters his way through the organization and is there by 1 month into the season. They don't have an answer at third base. They just don't.
They don't.
So having him there for a couple years and then having a guy that could be a utility player and you're overpaying him to be that or whatever isn't the worst case scenario. Mm-hmm. The 2 pitchers is a little trickier.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree.
It's a little trickier.
And that's why I think we kind of coming back to the point that Chapman, out of the other 3, just fits the best for what they really need right now. And, just kind of look at what Jed said at Cubs convention about, he was asked about, is there pretty much is a starting rotation set? And he basically said that, like, yeah, unless something kind of comes, maybe it's not the right way to put it, is my words, but like falls in their lap, that he kind of believes the rotation was set at that point. It was after the Imanaga signing, obviously. So unless Montgomery or Snell really lower their asking prices, I just think Chapman, the fit makes more sense, or the fit makes the most sense, and then just what the ask is, from what we've heard, probably makes the most sense for the Cubs too.
Cody, what about what De La Cruz is saying in the live YouTube chat? Sign up to the CHGO Sports YouTube page so you don't miss any shows. He says, don't sign Chapman just to say you signed somebody.
Yeah.
Would you rather they sign, if they miss out on Bellinger, would you rather they just walk away and save their cash for another season?
Well, I think the people who don't want Chapman are people who fully believe in Matt Shaw.
Sure.
And that, or they really want to, like, they still have this, I don't want to even call it delusion, but like belief that Morel could get that chance at third base.
Yeah.
And
or they think Chapman's asking for like a long-term deal.
Yeah, that or they're asking.
Yeah, I mean, if Chapman wants 6 years,
that's tough.
Yeah,
that
I agree. That's tough.
And I ain't going, like, I've said on the show, like, 3 years is the max for me when it comes to
wouldn't go 4?
I wouldn't go 4. And the reason being is, like, I understand the batted ball data is red for him, but the results just aren't there, man. And that's the risk. It's like, it's the reverse Cody Bellinger. Like, Cody Bellinger has a lot of blue on his batted ball data, but he has the results from last year. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing in some ways. So to me, if you can get Chapman on 3 years or less, great. I think that's a fine deal. He's 31 years old. He's still an elite defender. You'd have the best defensive infield in baseball, no matter who the hell is playing first base for you. Mm-hmm. It does make sense, and I do think because of the batted ball data that He probably will have some positive regression with the Cubs. He's not listen, a lot of people talk about how the Rogers Center affects guys. I mean, Vlad Jr. has not been good offensively the last 2 years. If you really more so defensively, but even the home runs have dipped the last 2 years for Vlad Jr., all right? Bo Bichette has been the best player for the Blue Jays, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Vlad Jr. I would take him on the Cubs immediately, right? But I'm just being real with y'all. Like, he hasn't been hitting home runs at Rogers Center, you know what I mean? That's not like the wide conversation people have had about him.
That's why he was our Wild Thought Wednesday one week.
Right, because we were like, the value's not very high right now. This is going to
go to arbitration. You might as well get him while he's angry.
But to go back to Chapman, like, again, it's not like he's 28, 29 years old. He's 31. I feel the defense is there. It's always been there. And they would have a better defensive infield to go with Swanson and Horner, and like that's great. To me, if you sign Chapman, I think that there would still be another move coming. Is it harder to make trades during spring training? Probably. And I don't know if anything would actually happen, but I would hope that there's something that's already been in place, and these teams with the Cubs in this trade scenario are just waiting on free agency to kind of finally come to its end. And that would be my hope. I've been doing a lot of hoping this offseason, man. And I don't know. To me, like someone else in the chat said something. I think it was Jay. He said something. Do we think that they're waiting on next year, like going full throttle on next offseason? And I've kind of talked about that like a month and a half ago a little bit. Maybe I'm a little off on the last time I talked about it. But I think I said something along the lines on one of our previous shows this offseason where I just got the feeling that, especially after they were out on Yamamoto, where I felt like, okay, 2025 seems to be the offseason perhaps where they might go full throttle on like at the top of the free agent market, just because it feels like they want to see what they got internally in terms of some of their top prospects that will debut in 2024 and see how this all plays out. Is that what I want? No, I've been pretty open about that, right? I went the offseason.
I would just spend all the money.
Right. Yeah. I went into the offseason hoping that this team was going to spend at the top of the free agent market and, make this team a real playoff contender because, as we've talked about, this division is wide open. They're the one big market team in this division. There's no reason that they couldn't, especially since they completely outperformed their projection from last year. And had some extremes happen. They got a lot of questions answered about the roster internally in terms of Justin Steele, Nico Horner, other dudes in the bullpen as well. Like there was plenty of reason to why they should have or could have spent more at the top of the free agent market, and they haven't. And that frustrates me. I said that like a couple of days ago, but like I said about a month and a half ago, I said something along the lines of like it just looks like the Cubs are signaling that they want to see what they have internally this upcoming season because they have some of their better prospects set to really debut and get a full chance.
Did you say 3 years on Chapman? That's as far as you go? Now, see, I'd be willing to go 4. He's 31, right? So 32, 33, 34, 35.
You needed all your fingers to count?
Yeah. The reason...
He's not a math guy.
No, I don't math.
Just don't metrics.
The reason I say that...
Stuckonomics?
Stucky stats.
Okay, there you
go. Herrera-nomics.
Okay. The reason you say that.
The reason I say I'd be willing to go 4 years is that I think the defense doesn't go away.
Yeah.
So at the very worst, Shaw comes up, he shows you could play third base, and you have Chapman as a very expensive replacement at third base some days, or he's at third, and you continue to leave him at third for the defense, and you find Shaw's bat somewhere else, DH, whatever. Maybe you figured out the DH thing by then. And I'm also not afraid to eat year 4. Because, damn it, you're the Cubs.
Yeah, that's fair.
You should be able to eat year 4. So 3 years is okay. 4 years, I think, is also okay. If it starts to go 5, now I'm like, all right, he's getting old and you're paying for nothing. I saw Jay in the live YouTube chat say, how about 2 for 40? I think if 2 for 40 was being offered right now and Boras was I think the Cubs would have accepted that deal. If Boras was like, hey, a 2 for 40, they would have said yes.
You're talking about Ian Happ's deal, but one less year at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure 2 for 40 would get it done on the Cubs side. I'm not sure it's going to get it done on the Chapman side because of the years.
Yeah. To Cody's point about the prospect, right? And I don't think they necessarily went into the year thinking that way, because obviously if they would have signed Shohei Ohtani, they would have, right? Maybe if they had a better shot at Yamamoto, they would have done that too. But I will say that when you kind of just step back and look at the whole free agent picture, like those two were like they were probably the two top free agents on the market. Like Juan Soto was the biggest trade bat, right? But I mean, that's not a free agent. When you really step back and I think you realize the free agent pool this year wasn't that great. I think Ohtani really got a lot of the hype because him and Yamamoto were like the top guys. So obviously when the Cubs, didn't sign either of those guys, you have to think, did they step back and realize like the rest of the guys out here, except for maybe Bellinger, a couple guys, aren't necessarily the guys we want to spend the big money on? Because plans can change depending on what happens, right? Like if the Cubs had signed Shohei Ohtani, we wouldn't be talking about all this other stuff right now.
Fair.
But then you look at 2025's free agent class, seems really good, right? Juan Soto, Corbin Burns, Pete Alonso, all these different guys. I think the free agent market next year does seem better. Now again, like if I'm a Cubs fan and I'm sitting here, like I'd rather just the Cubs spend all the money every year and not worry about it, right? That's not how the Cubs operate. That's not how this front office operates. That's not how the Ricketts operate. So then you have to look at it as, are we going to spend our money this offseason for a player pool that we're not as high on? I'm not saying it's the right or wrong way to say it, or do we?
Are they holding their cash for next year? Is that why they're being so methodical about this offseason?
And
it's possible.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is once they missed out on those top guys, did the plans shift, right? Did the plans change? So like, okay, we missed out on the guys we wanted. Do we want to pivot to these other guys that we're not as high on? Or do we want to pivot our whole strategy, allow the young guys to play and really go in next year, 2025? And not saying it's the wrong or right way to look at it. I'm just saying like that may have been the kind of mindset that the Cubs went in with, and maybe things changed.
I don't think would be the wrong way to a degree. I actually like the idea of having a plan and having a backup plan. Plan B, what happens if you don't get Ohtani, if you don't trade for Soto, if you don't get Yamamoto, and now adjusting the plan halfway through. They admitted they kind of did that last year when all of a sudden they started going, we can steal more bases and we can play much better defense. We can improve this team defensively and improve our wins just by doing that alone. They were right. So I'm okay with the secondary plan, but you also don't give up on this season. You haven't been to the playoffs in a long time. You're the Cubs in a division that is winnable, that you should be winning. So I'm not saying that they need to go out and sign two of these Boras clients. But in my mind, signing none of them is criminal. Yeah. That would be criminal. To come back with basically the team you had last year, minus Stroman, minus Bellinger, and just expect the offense to blossom and score more runs would be foolish. You'd be giving up on the division before. There's no way you're an 83-win team if you have the roster that you have just today. It's not that it's no way. It's so unlikely because you're counting on so many what ifs.
Yeah, and that's what the last year was too, right? A lot of questions.
And Chapman can, in the worst case, Chapman gives you a breath of hope.
And gold glove defense.
To me, it's still Bellinger. Yeah. But if plan C is we couldn't afford Bellinger because somebody got crazy and you had to go Chapman, at least he gives you a little bit of both. Yeah. He saves you the money because it's a short-term deal that you can still go out and go get the big fish next year, and hopefully your guys develop, yada, yada, yada. But at least you're not saying to the fans, we're throwing our hands in the air. Mm-hmm. You know what? We're going to pull the garbage the Bulls have been pulling over at the United Center, and we're just going to roll it back. We're going to roll it back out there and see what happens. You know what's going to happen? The same thing. That's what's going to happen. You're going to be out of the playoffs again. I don't know that Chapman solves it, but he at least gives you some glimmer of hope that you've at least answered one of your two big questions, first base and third base. Maybe Bush does it at first base. I don't know. But I think it's way more likely that Chapman would solve your problem at third for a couple years until Shaw comes along than it is that Bush is going to burst onto the scene in the major leagues and be rookie of the year at first base.
I think that's what we always talk about is just that having good proven players is it may not end up being the ceiling, right? The highest ceiling you can get to, but having good proven major leaguers is a safer bet than having prospects that have never played at the big league level or have limited time at the big league level. I think we've always said that, and I think it always holds true that just having as many good players that you are sure about at the major league level just makes your team overall better. Again, could a guy like Michael Busch, could Pete Armstrong, could those guys really impact the roster positively this year? Like, absolutely. I think those guys have pretty good futures ahead of them, but can you count on that? No, I don't think you can count on it on the same way as you can, like you said, you can count on Matt Chapman at least giving you Gold Glove caliber defense with positive offensive production. I agree in the same way that you're saying.
I know we got to do breaks, but our friends at Bleacher Nation, they were listening to ESPN 1000 just, in this last 15 minutes, and Brett tweeted Jesse Rogers on Carmen and Yurko said that he doesn't have a crystal ball, but the Cubs don't want to pay Bellinger the $200+ million deal, and they're not going to change their stance. So it all depends on whether Boras comes down and they take a short-term opt-out heavy deal, which is a lot of what Passan said yesterday on there. He's quoted, and this is a thread that I tweeted from after listening to their show. He said, I think with Bellinger, they don't want to go 7 to 8 years. They don't want to go $200+ million. And if the price comes down on that, if they could do a shorter term deal, if they could do something with opt-outs, then yeah, maybe it becomes more attractive to them. But I don't think the desperation is there the same way it is with the Blue Jays. And then he ended that by saying, I don't mind patience in this case. I'm not suggesting they sacrifice the 2024 season in service of 25, 26, and beyond. What I'm saying is if they don't go and do something massive this offseason, I don't know that it's a lost offseason necessarily. And that's kind of – I read all that because that's kind of my rebuttal to what Luke said. I do think that there is a sign that they could still be competitive because, again, when PECOTA still says that you can win 80 games or FanGraphs says you can win 81 games without Bellinger on this roster, they see something. They see something that some of these prospects could do. Maybe the Cubs end up getting Chapman. Maybe that improves it. Again, I'd rather the projection be 90 wins. I'm not saying that I think this, but I do still think that there is reason to believe that they could be something, especially in this division. And I hate that I'm going to end up talking myself into it because I told myself I wasn't going to do it, and I know I'm going to because I'm a delusional idiot. But I remain who I am, and I can't change who I am.
I'm offended. You trust a computer more than you trust me.
I'm not saying that.
Last year, who was more accurate?
I'm giving you devil's advocate to what you said.
I think.
Who was more accurate? The dial-up computer last year or the old guy sitting in this chair?
Devil's advocate. That's
83 wins, I said.
To what you said, I'm just giving you devil's advocate. That's all. Because I'm basically am with you from my fan side.
You got the devil part right, buddy.
I'm giving you the devil's advocate.
Hey, CD1 Price Cleaners, low prices. Customers save over 30% on their dry cleaning bill by switching to CD1 Price Cleaners. Simple, transparent service. The best part is the fast turnaround service for me. I go to the one in Arlington Heights. CD1 Price Cleaner has your order ready same day or next day. You go to a lot of other cleaners, they take 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, sometimes 5 days to get your clean garments ready. They also give you text alerts, which is really nice. CD1 Price Cleaner sends you a text when your order is ready for pickup so you don't show up and it's not there. Wide variety of services. They have dry cleaning, wash and fold laundry, blankets, comforters, tailoring, alterations. They even clean leather and area rug cleaning. Leather's always great,
Always.
A guy like Matt Peck brings in all his leather coats over there. He's coming in. He's getting his leather clean. His leather pants.
Leather Birkenstocks.
Leather Birkenstocks. They got to be clean for the spring. You don't want stinky leather. Visit CHGO.CD1. That's ONE.com. Link is in the description. Once you're there, you can pick from an in-store coupon or an online pickup and delivery coupon options. They're all right there. The bottom line is it's a great place to go to get your stuff done. It gives you a little extra free time. Well, what's the one thing we can't get enough of? Time. Can't get enough time. They take it off your hands. You're not wasting your time trying to do your laundry if you want to do the wash and fold. You're not wasting your time trying to get the dry cleaning done because they go fast. fast. So that's my spot right in Arlington Heights.
Nice. You made me
Segue.
Segue. Prize Picks, guys. If I could go on Prize Picks and bet that Michael Busch is going to have a great rookie season with the Cubs, that way I can then shove it in Barb's face because she still won't shut up about the trade. I would, because I feel really good about Michael Busch going into 2024. But I can't make that on Prize Picks. But you can bet on the Super Bowl, or the big game, as I should probably call it that, this weekend in Vegas. Prize Picks, the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They're the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. If it's just you against the numbers, like it's DFS, but you're not going up against other people. You're going up against a computer.
Right.
Instead of battling thousands of others, including pros and sharps, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks, the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this basketball season, this football season. It's been one of the great DFS ways to make money, because I hate doing regular DFS against my friends because for some reason it just never works out, but against the computer, much better. Again, I can't emphasize that enough. I did the Bulls game the other night against the Wolves. Anthony Edwards over 1.5 or 2.5 threes. He had like 4 at halftime. I had Anthony Edwards over 26.5 points on there. I mean, I just put, it was like
betting a lot on the Timberwolves.
It was a lot of Anthony Edwards because it was going up against the Bulls. But then thank God I didn't bet on the game itself, because the Timberwolves ended up blowing the game, right? Mm-hmm. But with Prize Picks, again, you're doing player props, right? So it's that easy, and just again, it's easy money, honestly, if you're just smart. Sometimes you got to be smarter than the app, right? They have quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types that are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Go to prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO for the first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO. Daily fantasy sports made easy.
Big Dave is here. I saw him.
Big Dave.
He came in. He's hard to miss, man.
He exists. Tavern style is going to happen.
I can't wait for the hug that we will have once the show
embrace.
Ends. Yeah, like that. There are a few things.
It's not even a hug. It's an embrace.
Yeah, there are a few things better than a Big Dave hug in this world.
Right. Like I said, it's not a hug. It's more an embrace of your soul.
Yeah.
He embraces your soul.
It's comparable to walking out of the concourse at beautiful historic Wrigley Field on like a Friday at 1:20. Yeah. It's like when you walk up those steps and see the field. That is similar to what an embrace with Big Dave is like.
Boy, speaking of 120s, the Cubs have released their promotional giveaways today for the year. Friday 120s have some pretty good giveaways coming up, if I'm not mistaken, on the day. Bud Fridays, they're calling them. Mesh tank tops throughout the year. Some of them are I mentioned.
Cody loves his tank tops.
I kind of need.
Pat loves a good tank top.
That's true.
They have like the 1908 one, like the dark blue.
I was just talking, and I was talking about how I wish they would go to those powder blue, white pinstripe unis. They have a tank top, and that's one of the giveaways on a Friday, I believe, in July. Ryan, the Hawaiian shirts. When's the Hawaiian shirt giveaway? I just saw that one up there.
That
April
is
6th.
July 4th.
That's the Pat
July
Hughes
4th.
sweater.
The red, white, and cubby blue Hawaiian
July
shirt.
4th.
Yeah, July 4th.
On
4th of July's got a
Independence Day?
giveaway?
Yeah.
Red, white, and blue Hawaiian.
That's an odd day to have a giveaway. Like, you need to draw people to the ballpark?
They're
it's
just
just big of them to
That's
do
a
it.
reward.
rewarding people for spending their July
okay.
4th at Wrigley Field.
Well, I think, Sarah's bringing it up right now, like the Pat Hughes sweater.
Well, that's the crown jewel.
Yeah. And they're
jewel
giving it up.
giveaway.
It's the first one of the year, April 6th.
Yep.
So when you go to Wrigley Field and you're freezing, you
because
just
that's
put on
opening
that.
day. That's
Yeah.
Cubs opening day, isn't it? April 6th? Because that's the opening day sweater he wears.
I don't know if it's Cubs
They're
opening
doing a
day,
giveaway
but
on opening day?
I don't think it's opening day.
I think or maybe the next day.
I think it's the first weekend series.
First weekend?
Maybe first weekend series.
Whenever the Dodgers come to town. So you can put your Pat Hughes
That
sweater
would
on when
be-
Ohtani comes to bat.
I mean, here's what they're doing.
Oh, you're right. That is the Saturday of the Dodgers series.
Saturday, the Dodgers
Cubs
series.
home openers that Monday. They only play one road series. I forgot about that.
You're 100% right, Cody. They've taken clearly their best giveaway and said, how can we get people to show up in April? Not just the diehards, not just the CHGO diehards. How are we going to get the fringers in there? How are the fringe fans going to come in to our ballpark in April when the forecast is 33 and a snow-rain mix for most of the afternoon? And the answer is the Pat Hughes sweater shirt. That's the answer.
It's good. It's good. I know Corey probably might want one.
Well, I would think I might want one in multiple sizes. That's the trick. Like, I might want my regular size, but I also might want the double XL so that I can throw it over a coat. Show people off the sweater.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing this organization always does is these promotions always turn out to be good. I like the bobbleheads this year.
I was
Who are the bobbleheads this year?
Morel, Hab, Steele, and Alzolay.
Oh, yeah, I saw somebody say Morel. Now that means they can't trade him is what they're thinking.
I
tweeted that, and then some people were like, no. Crawley, he replied to my tweet, said, oh, back in like 2007, they had a Michael Barrett one, and they still traded him. I'm like, okay.
Okay, yeah.
I was disappointed.
That doesn't fit my narrative,
Stand
but
corrected, but don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Yeah, exactly.
Crawley.
I was disappointed to see no WWE night this year. I was hoping that CM Punk would be there. I could meet him and invite him on the CHGO Cubs show. So we're gonna have to find another route to get him on our show.
Did they have a Star Wars night this time?
I could just start tweeting
They have a Harry
at him
Potter
every day.
night.
Yeah.
Oh, Harry Potter is not Star Wars for me.
Well,
no.
you're going to get some slander from
I'm going to get some Potters.
Yeah, millennials love Harry Potter.
I know.
I love Harry Potter.
Star Wars,
Chrysiotic
way above
curse on
Harry
you.
Potter. I haven't even finished Harry Potter. I don't even know how it ends. I know he rides a broom and he's good and that stuff.
Play some Quidditch. Yeah.
He's got the redheaded friend.
I'll tell
and
you
he's
how
got
it
the girl.
ends. The ship sinks at the end. That's how it ends.
That's the truth.
I don't even know what that means.
It was a Titanic,
The Titanic joke. I got you.
Ryan, thank you.
Oh, I've seen
Listen.
Titanic. Yeah,
Star Wars.
I was on it. I got off.
Listen, Star Wars and Harry Potter are both great. Let's not.
Yeah.
Let's
They
not
are both. They
stack
are
them
both
against
great.
each other.
I
Well,
will
Star Wars is
openly
better.
admit that I'm not a Star Wars
I mean,
guy. That's
I
big
would
of me to
say
do on the
that
internet.
the
But
prequel trilogy kind of sucked.
It did.
Come on, you're gonna say that?
They're still making more Star Wars.
Clone Wars was a
Star
great
Wars
movie.
spin-offs on
Well,
Disney
even
are
the
all
Star
great.
Wars-
Mandalorian is
Yeah,
great.
okay.
All of it.
What they did the Obi-Wan show too, that was really good.
Yeah.
That was one of the best.
What's Harry Potter's friend, the redheaded guy?
Ron
Ron.
Weasley.
Ron. Is there going to be a Ron spin-off? Are we going to have a whole series on Ron? I hope not.
I hope not.
I'd rather do a spin-off with the brothers, the twin brothers.
I don't know them.
George
Fred and George? Well,
yeah, Fred and George.
okay, no
oh, wait,
spoilers, but
actually,
one of them
yeah.
died.
Oops, sorry.
I won't say who.
Fernando's got a super chat for us. Wants to know, is there going to be an opening day meetup at Wrigley Field? Are there any details? No details yet. I would think the answer is yes.
Opening day, they
Watch
open
party.
up on the road against the Rangers on opening
Oh, maybe
day.
not opening, but the Cubs home opener, I
Cubs
fully
home
expect
opener.
that we will be
Sure.
in Wrigleyville.
Yeah.
There could be one for opening day.
I can confirm this, that me and fellow producer / CHGO Bears podcaster Greg Braggs will be at every Friday home 120 game this season.
Every one of them.
Every one of them, which is 14 of them.
Well, you guys are going to get the tank tops then.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Braggs
excited.
is another guy, tank
We'll-
top
we're
guy. He likes
actually-
to show off the bricklayer arms.
We're actually going to be sitting in the bleachers every Friday home 120 game this year. So, and
Sounds
we're going to
like I
be
got-
doing like a.
sounds like I'm
we're
getting
gonna
Fridays off.
We're going to be doing pregame meetups during the season on Fridays. So for Friday home games.
Friday home games. The
Yes.
Friday 120s.
Yes. So when they're on the road, we won't be doing it, but Friday
Right.
home games. So they have a home game against the Dodgers on the 5th. Me and Greg Braggs will be. I mean, more news will be coming out, but it is confirmed that we're going to be doing this.
Nice.
Mostly because you guys were going to be there anyway.
Well, you remember last year we didn't do shows on Friday.
We had a lot of Fridays we didn't. Well, we did
No,
some.
we did. Sunny
We
Side
did some
Summer
because we would do
Fridays.
the City Connect or whatever.
Or maybe it was Thursdays that we did.
I think the Drew Smiley no-hitter was
Was
on
it Friday?
that's
Friday.
It was a Friday.
That's
Yep.
true.
Jan
Oh,
Gomes
it was
ruined
only
it by running
Friday.
in him.
It was
Wait.
only Friday road games
Perfect
that we
game.
I'm sorry, perfect game.
did. It was Friday road games that we didn't do shows.
Right, correct.
Something like
Yes.
that. Although we did
But
do
all the home games we did.
The road Diamondbacks with Corey when Cody was out in Arizona.
That's right.
On a Friday night.
Yep.
So I don't know, but yes,
There's no damn
Barb,
reason.
Barb, the Cubs won more than one game when I attended last year. All right. Come on now.
At Wrigley.
1-2.
At Wrigley, yes. Now on the road, I went 0-5. All right, but I went at the absolute worst time in September.
Yep.
Right? I did not jinx the Cubs. They jinxed themselves.
Listen, Sarah's got it up there right now on the live YouTube feed. Bring Sammy home. The shirt's available at allchgo.com. Our locker's full of sick drip right now.
Yeah, man.
A lot of dope
I
merch in
expect
there.
us to have more stuff
Lots
before
of
opening
dope
day
merch.
too. Diehards get 20% off. I love the hoodie. The hoodie is great.
Die
You
hard.
get it? I mean, opening day, you can wait for the Pat Hughes sweater on the weekend, but if you want to show up,
Well, allchgo.com.
allchgo.com. Barb wants to know if Ryan's going to do his post game on the toilet again this year.
Yep.
It's not on the
From the
toilet,
press
it's
box.
just in the stall.
Yeah. You hear the little flush in the background.
That's right.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, no, I'm pretty excited to be able to
Big Fridays.
get out there for Friday home games. One, because they had a lot of good Friday home games last year, and I was here instead of at the park. But also, because this allows me and my good friend Greg Braggs to go out and hang out with other diehards.
Did Cody's give you that shirt for free?
This was a Christmas gift.
Oh, great. Well,
Yeah.
see, free it is.
You want to hang out with the
It
two
was
meatballs.
free, but it wasn't from Cody's, but it was free.
And it was free. That works. Let me
Were there
tell
any
you what
other
else
cool
works.
Promo items, by the way?
Game time. Oh, you want to see
I
more
was just-
promos real
I was going
quick?
to say, were there any other cool ones? I don't remember. If
Well, the tank tops are cool.
tank
Sarah,
tops
show
are
us some of
cool.
those tank tops that are on there if you can.
They're-
I don't know
I
if
think
you
they're
can find
doing the
it.
college caps again this
They
year.
are. They're also going to have a commemorative,
Oh.
like Ryan
Yeah.
Sandberg bobblehead
Yeah.
for his statue, which is cool. They just
September
haven't
8th.
released a picture of it yet because we still don't know what the
Yeah,
statue's
it's
going to
kind of
look
like
like.
with Fergie
Yeah.
a couple years ago when they did him. They gave him his statue and they had the giveaway of his.
And last
Hall of
year
Fame
they had
statue.
like the statue row series.
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
yeah.
they've got plushies for the kids. They have a home white pinstripe tank top. They have the one from the 70s that I was talking about, the powder blue with the white stripes. They also have that 80s one for the Cubs where they used to have the V-neck, the blue V-neck shirt,
Oh yeah,
pullover shirt.
Yeah.
That's in a tank top form. There it is
I see
right
it right
there.
there.
That's what
Looks
game
cool.
is that? Oh, against the Blue
Friday,
Jays.
August 16th.
August
Toronto.
16th, that's a good one. But for me, July 19th against Arizona, you get the team that went to the World
I
Series.
like the one on the left. Yeah, Arizona.
That's the one. And wow, look, and even the Cardinals are doing the pinstripe one.
There's some cool ones there.
That's three good ones in a row.
That's like the. Oh yeah, it is against the Cardinals there.
The other Cardinal one's pretty good too, right above
That's like
that.
that reminds me of like
June
what,
14th is a
yeah,
nice one.
That's
Old
basically
school.
what they wore during the Field of Dreams game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, Stucky.
The 42 hat.
If you want to go to any of those games, get any of those awesome giveaways.
Hook 'em up with a Game Time,
Yeah,
right?
go to Game Time, get your ticket there. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. I've used Game Time a bunch. Again, I talk about my first ever Bears game. Those tickets were bought through Game Time. Multiple concerts, different kinds of sporting events in Chicago. I always go through Game Time. Like I said, they got last-minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals. It's easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. Again, you get the views from all the seats in the venue, so you know exactly what your view is of whatever event you're attending. You get the lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, all that good stuff. Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. See the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show your total upfront, so you know you're getting a great deal without hidden fees. You buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. That's it. Game Time is obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. With zone deals, you pick the section and Game Time picks the seats for an average of 18% savings, and the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem that code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
CBG, Charlie the Bacon Guy, based out of Woodridge, Illinois, makes craft bacon and bacon jams in over 35 different flavors. Baskin-Robbins, they only got 31.
Yep.
Ice cream. This guy's got 35 different flavors of bacon and bacon jams. The bacon and bacon jams are all naturally cured, preservative-free products. They don't have any ingredients that Charlie can't pronounce himself involved in the process, unlike the stuff you get in the store. It's vacuum sealed, freezes perfectly. Bacon lasts in a package up to 60 days in the fridge, 1 week after the seal's broken, 9 months in the freezer. Bacon jam lasts about 90 days in the fridge and up to 1 year in the freezer. Some of the favorites, maple pepper, rosemary, chorizo, French toast. How unique is that? Korean barbecue, jardinera, Old Bay, and bacon jam flavors, original, bourbon, spicy. The bacon jam goes perfectly on anything. Scrambled eggs, toast, on a spoon, burgers, grilled cheese, charcuterie boards. Somebody told me the big party coming up on Sunday, throw it on your pizza. That was Corey Friedman. Said it will change your pizza. Starting now, you can save 10% on your order at charliethebaconguy.com when you use the code, 4 important letters, CHGO. The code is CHGO at checkout. You can pick it up. That's the most efficient way, or he'll deliver it to you, even meet you halfway, or possibly ship it. He makes the bacon so you can bring it home. Check him out at www.charliethebaconguy.com.
Wonderful.
Before we move to this last segment of Luke ranting about the White Sox new stadium possibilities, related to the shirt that I'm wearing.
I don't have too much time, but go ahead.
Related to the shirt that I'm wearing, I'm advocating that we do a watch party at Cody's. It's in Lakeview, Roscoe Village.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
advocating that we do a watch party.
Party
All right.
at Cody's?
Yes.
It'd be
Cody
easy.
at Cody's.
Cody
Yes.
at Cody's.
I
easy for
feel
me to get there, I'll
I
tell you
feel
that much.
like I feel like it will be immaculate vibes.
Cody's
You gotta
Cody
tell
to the
bosses
second
up there.
powers.
Also,
we'll
no
call it.
free ads.
I'm
If they sign
free ads,
Bellinger,
but I
we
love
call
you
it Cody
guys.
the third power. All right, here's the deal. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this because I did tavern style. I ranted about it, but every day I see it and hear about it, it makes my blood boil more and more. I saw the White Sox renderings of their fantasy ballpark that's getting everybody all excited. It infuriates me because they had a chance to do this ball. It's the right thing to do. They had a chance to do it. Jerry Reinsdorf didn't want to do it. He wanted the cheap route, and so he talked or scammed the state of Illinois into building him his stadium. We, taxpayers of Illinois, paid for the ballpark that they play in. We still owe $50 million on that ballpark. Yet now he wants a new stadium, and he wants to put it where he should have put the first one. Great location. I don't disagree. Who's paying for it? Why are we even drawing up these bogus renderings of a ballpark? The state of Illinois isn't paying for your BS ballpark. The city of Chicago's not paying. We're done paying for your ballparks. Nobody goes to that one. Nobody goes to your ballpark because you don't pay the players. I get an idea. Here's the worst part for the Sox fans. It's one of two ways. Either Jerry is going to pay his own money and build a ballpark. Great.
Like Tom.
Good for him,
For
right?
renovations at least. Yeah.
Great. He's going to spend the money and spend $1 billion on a new ballpark. Good for him. How about putting some players in the ballpark? That might make fans happy. There's nothing wrong with their current ballpark. And the worst part of it is the city told the Cubs, the number one tourist attraction in the state of Illinois, Wrigley Field, you can't have a penny. We're going to fight you tooth and nail over this. You got to put all your own money if you want to fix your ballpark. Are you going to tell me you're going to let this man scam you into trying to talk and build another stadium? It isn't. I don't care where you build it. You could build it on top of the Willis Tower, Sears Tower, whatever you want to call it. Nobody's going there compared to the Cubs game. That's just a fact. Because you don't pay your players. It's a joke. The whole thing's a joke. I'm so sick of seeing the renderings. It drives me crazy. Don't fall for it again. Don't be conned by Jerry Reinsdorf. He's got two teams he doesn't want to pay for.
That's true.
Now he wants us to build him another ballpark. Come on.
Boom. The Stucky rant.
I love a good
Don't get me
Love it.
started. I could do 5 podcasts on that. It's the dumbest thing ever. You think we won't pay a penny to the Cubs? Think of the players the Cubs could be getting right now if they hadn't spent $400 million on a renovation for their stadium. and taxpayers gave a little bit to that. But that was the right move. The Ricketts are billionaires. Pay for your stadium. Jerry, you're a billionaire. You own 2 franchises. Build your own damn stadium if you made the mistake at the first time around. Joke. Anyways, we got to go. The Bulls guys got a big show coming up when they're going to trade nobody.
Getting out
we'll
of
talk
here with
about
a
that.
mic drop. I appreciate it. I really do.
I think we need more Stucky rants.
We do. Because people get tired of me yelling.
Yeah.
Everybody's being fooled by these pictures being like, oh, that would be cool. I'd go to a Sox game with Willis Tower, Sears Tower in the background.
Yeah, have Jerry pay
The
for it.
idea.
No, you wouldn't. Not if you're paying for it for 40 years.
Have Jerry and the Sox start a GoFundMe, and then people that want to give them money can do it
GoFundMe.
that
That's
way.
right. That's
There you
what
go.
Jerry needs is a GoFundMe.
The
There you
only
go.
spin
they can
zone.
pay for it that way.
The only spin zone I have is that how funny would it be when they build it and more people still go to Wrigley Field instead of that, which would be actually kind of sad because
the
the pictures
ballpark
look
I didn't
really
say
nice.
funny. I think
The
that's just
ballpark
like the
they have is
expectation.
nice.
Like, it's just like, yep, that's what
That's
we all
the
expected.
only like spin zone I have.
Sox fans keep
but-
telling me that stadium's nicer than Wrigley anyway. Guaranteed rate's nicer. They got better food. It's nicer. What are we talking about building a new one for?
That's fair. That's fair. Tailgating scene.
Whatever. Next week, by the way, we are live at 3:30. Next week, 3:30 is the time because Ryan's going to be in Arizona.
You heard that, Barb? 3:30.
3:30 next week.
Hit the
Corey and Brendan
notification
have another
Next
podcast
week.
for you tomorrow, but then next week, Monday, starting Monday, 3:30 is the time for that. Thank
Ryan
you
will be in Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
for checking out the CHGO Cubs
3:30.
Podcast. Don't forget to sign up to be a diehard. Bulls coming up next with a trade deadline show and then a little tavern style, huh? Okay, until then, thanks for watching. Fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.